All right, let's jump right in. We're going to tackle a question that honestly might be keeping you up at night. Is your website speed quietly killing your business? Today, we're going to unpack the hidden connection between how fast your site loads, how frustrated your users get, and the one thing everybody wants, traffic from search engines. So let's get into it. I want to start with just this one number, 53%. What do you think this is all about? Take a second. Seriously, what does this represent? Is it the number of new businesses that fail? The amount of marketing spend that goes to waste? Well, it's actually something way more immediate, something that happens in the blink of an eye.
That's it. Over half, 53% of your potential mobile visitors are just gone if your site takes more than 3 seconds to load. We call this the 3-second cliff. It's not a slow decline, it's a sheer drop. You spend all this time, all this money, getting people to your front door, and then poof. In less time than it takes to read this sentence, they've vanished.
Now, it is so easy to just write this off as, people being impatient, but the data shows it's so much deeper than that. This isn't just about our shrinking attention spans. It's about our basic human psychology and how our brains actually perceive waiting.
And what's wild is this gap between reality and what it feels like. A few seconds of waiting doesn't just feel like a few seconds to us. Research shows that our brain stretches that time out, making it feel a whopping 36% longer than it actually is. So that 3-second delay, in your user's mind, it's an eternity.
And believe it or not, it gets worse. That feeling of frustration, it's not just in your head, it is a physical, biological reaction. After only 3 seconds of delay, your body can actually start releasing cortisol. That's the stress hormone. Your slow website is literally, measurably stressing people out. And guess what gets associated with that stress? Your brand.
So you really have to ask yourself this. You built this amazing website to help people, to solve their problems, to make their lives easier. But is the very first thing they experience with you an injection of stress? Because that feeling doesn't just go away. It leads directly to a financial problem.
Right? Because that stress, that frustration, all those people leaving isn't just a user experience issue. It has a direct, calculable, and frankly, a shocking impact on your bottom line. Every single second of delay has a price tag.
Just look at these numbers. For every single second of delay, your conversion rate drops by an average of over 7%. And for mobile users, which is probably most of your audience, that penalty jumps to almost 9.5% per second. The losses just stack up terrifyingly fast.
And if you think a second is fast, you're not thinking small enough. I mean, look at this quote from Amazon, a company that knows a thing or two about selling stuff online. They found that every 100 milliseconds, that's a tenth of a second, costs them 1% in sales. We're not fighting for seconds anymore. The real battle is for milliseconds.
But here's the thing. Your users are not the only ones judging you. There's another incredibly powerful stakeholder out there watching your site's performance, and their judgment call can decide if people ever even find you in the first place. And of course, I'm talking about Google.
So, Google made this official with something called Core Web Vitals. And listen, these aren't just helpful tips or best practices. They are a specific set of tests, measurable metrics, that are now a direct factor in how Google ranks you in search results. It's a report card for your website.
So what are they looking at? Real quick, LCP is basically how fast the most important stuff on your page shows up. You got to get that under 2.5 seconds. FID is about interactivity. How fast does your site react when someone clicks a button? Got to be under 100 milliseconds. And CLS measures visual stability. Does your page jump all over the place as it loads? You fail these tests, and trust me, Google notices.
And this right here, this is where everything we've talked about, the user psychology, the financial hit, it all comes to a head. Because when you fail Google's performance test, it's not just a bad score on a report. It means a direct penalty where it hurts the most, your search ranking and your traffic.
It's like a chain reaction, a domino effect. It starts with a simple technical issue, a slow load time. That causes users to bail, right? Which sends all these negative signals to Google. Then you officially fail your Core Web Vitals test. And the final domino to fall? A Google ranking penalty. So what does that penalty actually look like? Well, here's the number. The data shows that sites that fail their Core Web Vitals see an average ranking drop of 3.7 positions for their important keywords. Think about that. That's the difference between being on page 1 and being buried on page 2. It's the difference between being seen and being invisible.
And what does a drop of 3.7 positions actually do to your business? Well, it looks like this. It can mean losing up to 39% of your organic traffic.
Let that sink in for a second. Nearly 40% of the audience you worked so hard to build can just evaporate, all because of a few seconds of slowness.
So at the end of the day, the takeaway is really, really clear. Website speed is not a nice-to-have anymore. It's not just a feature to make your users happy. It is a fundamental, non-negotiable requirement if you want to be visible on the internet today, period. And that just leaves us with one final thought. This isn't really a technical question anymore. It's a business one. Knowing what we know now about the user stress, the lost sales, and the massive Google penalties, how much of your traffic are you actually willing to lose to slowness?